Today, we're going to begin with dreams. There is constant communications. No, there is a constant attempt at communications throughout the entire universe, throughout the entirety of existence. There's a constant attempt at communications. From the essence of all being, that which you call God, or whatever you call it, to that which is your greater self, to this specialized portion of that greater self that you call you. Generally, the communications is not accepted, it is not heard, because of the structure of the ego. Again, we have attempted to restructure that ego, and the things that we have told you and the exercises that we've given you and the advice that we've given you in terms of beginning to become flexible in your own idea structures. We're attempting to put a double face on your ego. The ego looks out, interprets the information that it receives, and responds. The greater information about your world comes from within, because the world comes from within. To put another face on the ego, to have something from the ego looking both inward and outward simultaneously, is the key, so that messages can be received. However, the greater self, being faithful to its extension, seizes the opportunity to do this. And the only time that it can truly do this is when you are asleep. You call them dreams. It is at this point, because the ego is willing to stand aside during sleep, because everyone knows that anything is possible in a dream, and it's just a dream anyway. This is the accepted attitude. You have two kinds of dreams. You have the ordinary dream and the non-ordinary dream. The ordinary dream is where you attempt to deal with the day-to-day problems of your life. You attempt to work things out. The non-ordinary dream has something to do with working out things, but it has a greater goal: to enhance the awareness of existence, period, capital E. We will call this existence small e. The first step in the expansion and the awareness is to remember dreams and learn to interpret them properly. Now, to learn to interpret them properly is going to be absolutely difficult if you have not done the other exercise of looking at your thoughts, every single one, and learning to understand them. Because you are going to be dealing with symbols, and what do these symbols mean? And it will do you very little good to come to me to ask, what does this mean? Because your symbols are peculiar to you. They are the way in which you see things. So you see, this has been a step-by-step process. We are not very disciplined. Well, see, I think I've said many times, it doesn't matter. And if you can't come against your own egoism to do what is right in spite of what you think or what you feel like you don't want to do, then of course the grade is F. But we are now at the next step. Understanding that you do dream. And some people say, well, I don't dream, or I have very few dreams. Well, it is, to remember the dreams are easy. It is easy. A simple suggestion that I will remember my dreams is sufficient. If you do not put on pressure, it is sufficient. The simple suggestion, I will remember my dreams. Immediately upon finishing the dream, I will awaken and write the dream down. If you are in a position to use a tape recorder, immediately upon finishing the dream, I will speak the dream into the tape recorder. And you'll find something very amazing about that one. You don't even have to wake up to do it. You can do it in your sleep. This begins the process of attention toward dreaming. You should date it. When you write it down, if you use a tape recorder, you still are going to have to write the dream down. Date it. Because you're going to find many levels of information in that dream. Many levels. Because in dreaming you do many different things. So your symbols are going to be mixed. You will have ordinary dreaming. You will have 3 different kinds of out-of-body experiences, which you do not recognize yet. You do not recognize as valid. You will have precognitive dreams. That is dreams of the future. You will have dreams of the past. You have many elements involved in this. It is now that we must begin to untangle all this spaghetti. It is like your dreams are like a plate of spaghetti. Some of this, some of that, and this one's wound around that one, and that one around another one. They both are wound around something else. So it is at this point that we must begin to untangle all this. This is where the discipline that you should have developed in the first part takes over. Because every day you're going to have to go and look at these dreams. You are going to have to see events that happen in the dream in your life. The events coming about. Your own creations. Many things do not have to happen that happen. Because in a dream we have had a suspicion or an argument with someone, that person may be symbolic of something in the dream. We have a dream we're arguing with this person or fighting with this person. And the next day we respond to this person as if this has been a reality. Because we are unaware of what happened in the dream. And in the dream they were merely a symbol of something within you. Thereby you are being controlled out of ignorance. You are reacting and creating things out of ignorance that are chaotic. This is why life seems to be so chaotic, because we do not understand the actions of our dreams. We could stop war on this planet tomorrow if people understood dreaming. All wars could be fought at the dream level. Nobody dies, nobody gets hurt. Hostility resolved. Because your brain does not know the difference between the waking experience and the sleeping experience. It craves action. Is not a dream action? It doesn't know the difference. Let us take, for example, a wet dream or nocturnal emission. How is it possible that the body could reach a climax with no partner? Because of the action in the dream. You see, the brain doesn't know the difference. It does not know the difference in the action. It has had an experience. And the body responded. You see the point I'm trying to make here. It is the action that is important, that resolves the psychic action, the psychological desire for action. It will satisfy itself. So, great wars could be fought at the dream level without one drop of blood being spilled, if we but understood the actions of ourselves. But there is a problem with carrying out hostile activity at the dream level. They should never be directed toward particular people because of the telepathic communication that goes on between us. If you dream, go to sleep and have a dream that you're beating up Billy, Billy's going to receive the telepathic communication, and there is going to be hostility between you. You have had many dreams where the other person really didn't have a face, a recognizable face. This is the level where violence can be taken out. But there's also a responsibility about that, but we will get into that much later. So in working these things out, a simple suggestion is given. And because of the suggestion, we will work out hostilities, fears, this kind of thing. But now let us move to the next level, where messages on what to do to enhance your own life are given. A vibration carries information. All of existence is vibratory. It is vibratory, which means you can't see it. But you have within you a receiver. You are like pay TV. All right? You have wave energy going through the air. But you need a descrambler to translate that wave energy so that you can receive it on your television set. Your descrambler is your mind. That is why dreams, or this level of things, is in picture form. It is the soul's desire for action. The ego is the translator. So you receive this vibration, it translates it in pictures in terms of the dream, or at this level of reality. What did I say that this was? It is symbolic. These things are symbols of what is in you. Because you pick up the vibratory movement, translate it in here and say that is Maria or that is whatever. All you're picking up is a vibrational frequency. It depends upon how clear your symbols are to you. The time that you have spent working to understand your own symbols. The message is not going to come through absolutely clear because your decoder has to make sense out of it. So it takes it and transcribes it into the closest thing that it knows. You see, it does not have to be the particular thing, but the closest thing that it knows. When you have understood your own symbols, you will be able to translate the messages, the guidance that comes from deep within your own being. And you will be able to know the decisions to make. You don't get the information because generally you don't pay any attention to it. I've talked and worked with many of you with dreams and symbols already. And you've done very superficial work, if any at all. But that is your problem. So, dreaming, as this is a dream, is a way of experiencing action. It is a way of receiving communications. It is a coded way. Again, because of what we think, this is why we make so many mistakes. Because we're not getting the message clearly. You can change your life by learning your own symbols and learning to control your dreams by being aware in the dream state, bringing a little bit of your ego into the dream state so that you can experience the dream as you experience physical reality, so that you are able to look at it, understand it, and when you wake up, have the message as clear as it was while you were in the dream state. One of the reasons that you forget it is because you have not put enough attention on the development of this little extension of your ego by seeking to understand this thing called ego. The ego is a symbol of the desire of the spirit to experience physical existence. It is symbolic of that desire. Okay. The ego is a specialized portion of consciousness. If you own a building, you have the owner. Then he hires a maintenance man who is a specialized extension of the owner's wishes to maintain his building. You see. So the maintenance man is like your ego. The only problem is at this point, the way we have developed our maintenance man's skills, something is lacking. He's not doing exactly what he needs to do. So it is at this point that we are trying to rearrange the tools of your maintenance man. At each level of reality, you will find that the development of an ego. And we're talking about ego in its essence. Something that has the skills to interpret the laws of that reality in which it is designed to function. We must get it in hand now because it thinks that it is all that is. That's why you forget it. You get confused about it. Well, there was something there, but I don't know what it was now. You will sit down and talk with the greatest master in the dream. And when you wake up, you can't remember what he said. But you see, the first step is what we've been dealing with for years. That is the first step. So dreams actually control your life. Suggestion is very simple. Whatever you want to know can be told to you in the dream state. Whatever you want to know. About the future, about the past, about now, about realities that you never even dreamed about. But first you must be clear of your own fears, doubts, insecurities, angers, frustrations, because without it is not going to be clear. Because remember, your decoder is going to put its own prejudice upon it. You already have one natural distortion. And you now have one unnatural distortion. Your biases, your assumptions, your fears, doubts, prejudices. And you get all those mixed up together, you have a plate of spaghetti. It's important that you learn about your own mind so that you can get to the essence of the dream information. In the dream, you will have ordinary dreaming and you will have non-ordinary dreaming. Non-ordinary dreaming begins with the first dream body. The first dream body is what you generally call the astro body. It deals with the realms of reality surrounding the earth, or closest to the earth. Which means when you come out of that body into the dream body, You will deal with what goes on down the street or what's happening over in China or all possibilities of that. This is the first dream body. When I say all possibilities of that, there's something else you don't understand. There are as many yous as there are possibilities. And that number is uncountable. It is infinite. You think that this you sitting in this room is the only one that is. That is not true. Every thought has taken on a life of its own. Every decision that you have had to make, with each possibility of each decision, another you has been created. In this first dream body, you will meet them if you desire. They are as real as anything. They are as real as this. As a matter of fact, this is only one of them. To them, you are only a possibility.
They're off someplace really.
As you are here. You see, it is the same thing. There are times. You know, one of the reasons that you can never accuse other people of doing anything is because there are times when you see them, these other thems. Depending upon your consciousness, you may say, I saw Sheila today doing so and so, and you say, didn't I see you at State in Madison? She said, no, I was at I wasn't even there today. But what you saw, because of your connection with her and the condition of your consciousness, was one of the probable Sheilas involved in whatever that probable line of reality is. So you must be very, very careful. This is why you must know yourself, to know what the possibilities are. People see these probable selves of themselves and others sometime and call them ghosts. There's no such thing as a ghost. Remember something I've said to you. You literally step from frame to frame. These frames do not stop simply because you step from it. It goes on with a life of its own. You are actually now being a probable self that you created years ago. You've heard me say, the self that you are now is not the same self that you were then. I'm simply giving you a deeper explanation of that statement. You conscious hop. You know how people bar hop? You body hop. Your consciousness hops from body to body to body to body depending upon the decisions that you make. But because of your ignorance of study and ignorance of law, you believe that everything is a continual line through time. It is not. All possibilities and probabilities exist now, and you are dealing with the earth frequency range. And there are infinite possibilities of you that you, depending upon the decision that you make, you merely go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. I've said it's like a three-dimensional play. It is a dream in which you participate from outside into the system. Consciousness is not shaped like you. Consciousness has no shape. It simply sifts into this probable self. When it makes this kind of decision, when it makes this kind of decision, it sifts into this one. Think of a near-death experience that you have had. In one line, you died. A portion of your consciousness that was not ready to die simply skipped to the next possibility and you survived. One died, one survived, one was mutilated, lives the life of a cripple, one lives the life of a vegetable, one lost an arm, lost a finger, lost... And of course what I'm saying does not make sense to you. That's why understanding needs work. And this is why over the years I have cautioned you, I have said to you, you must work. If you are going to understand this thing you call life, you've got to do certain things. And at this point, you are ill-prepared because you've spent a lot of time bullshitting, debating over, well, whether I should do this or that. Well, today I got to go so-and-so. Well, I didn't do my meditation because I had to eat. Well, I didn't. Now we stand upon the threshold of what eternity means. What it really means. You are on the threshold. We're about to take a step into eternity. We're about to take a step into infinity to have the experience so that we have the knowledge. Did you buy your ticket yet? So, you know, you can really not accuse anyone of anything, because in our ignorance, which one is it? Which possibility is it that you are dealing with? You don't know. You think it's the same one you talked to yesterday. It may be, it may not be. So it is at this first dream body level that you deal with all the possibilities, that it is possible to deal with all the possibilities and probabilities of any decision in any given moment. In one line of possibility and probability, you never even came here. You never even met me. You will begin to understand how you yourself direct your own life from your past and from your future. Because the possibilities are the probabilities that you call the others and that they called you, you're only a possibility to them, often guide you. For instance, if you were to utilize the first dream body today and run into a probable self, say in the year, what year is this? 87. Let's say 88. And you attempted to make communications with it. You called to it. You made a statement to it to help it in a decision that it is trying to make. All right, so you awaken. You come back. You wake from this sleep. and you go on living your life. One day next year, you're pondering a problem, and a voice says, "Hey, so-and-so." Jeez. You hear this voice inside your head. You say, it must have been a God. It was only you. It was the voice that you set up in the possibility the year before. You see, this is a very complex thing. And we've been acting like morons in a way. We've treated this thing as if it is do. Well, I'm sorry, my friends. It is very complex. But it's not complex at all once you begin to understand. It is only complex to your mind at this moment because you have refused to do certain work and loosen the binds. If you had taken the time to loosen these binds, some of this would be making great sense to you right now. Again, you are only a probable self. You see, you haven't even questioned yet this. You haven't questioned that. How can you understand probable selves, possible selves? Well, I made the statement very clear. Each thing, each moment is alive forever. And you merely move from possibility to possibility to possibility. You never thought about what that meant? Come on, folks. Yes.
Maybe I wasn't listening. Why do we insist that this is linear?
Because the initial line of reality demands that you focus on a particular line, so you deny the gaps. It is a part of the first distortion to deny the gaps exist.
We have to initially deny in order to survive.
Yes.
But then we come to a point where we have to realize that we're denying certain parts of ourselves, and then we have to change.
Yes. You must live the lie to experience the lie, to enhance the experience of possibilities within the self, to then go back and understand the truth. Because it is the richness of these experiences that gives knowledge and wisdom to the being that is truly what we are. Yes, overcoming not knowing, overcoming ignorance. So we must have these experiences in order to do that. You see, when you are ill and you want to be well and you put your attention on wellness, all that happens is the consciousness moves from the line of reality to the line of reality of illness to the line of reality of wellness. That is why miracle cure. Overnight, boom, I'm well. It was a miracle. No, you just jumped lines of reality. And this is done by focus of attention. The things you focus on creates what line of reality you move into. These can be defined as the expansion of the atoms and molecules within your body from here to infinity and back. I've said each position along the movement of that line, you're talking about a circular thing or a spherical thing that moves infinitely. Each minute movement is a probability of your own being. See, it's very simple. And what you think determines the line of reality in which you move. So you see, you are absolutely responsible. There is no blame. There is responsibility. And I don't care what you think, because it requires work. It requires work to push aside the ordinary thoughts and go for something new. Now, this is at the first level, only the first level. This first dream body. There are others. The next dream body deals with your universe. If you want to go to Mars, you can go to Mars. And any possibility of that whole range of realities. Someone says, is there life on Mars? Not in this line of reality. But you have the infinite Mars to choose from. Has there always been life on Earth? In this line of reality, but not in all lines of reality.
Like an example, if no one had dreamed of traveling to the moon, no one would be able to travel to the moon.
Exactly. Yes. It was a mass dream. You see, your dreams are important. You want to be a world leader? You must establish the power in the dream state and the cooperation of others. This is how mass great leaders are born. It is the power of the dream. You want to be a great scientist? You must dream it. You must dream it, and it will be so. You must dream where the invention lay, and you go and you look at the invention and you say, and you bring it back with you and you invent it. And everybody says, genius. Yeah. I have talked of a great society. It is the great society. That is a society of dreamers. And I don't mean dreamers. I wish this. Oh God, I need this. No, I don't mean that. That's stupidity. You wish to be a great writer? Somewhere you have written the books already. All you need do is go and read them in the dream and enter the line of reality. That is all. It is that simple. But because of your beliefs, because you haven't worked with these things, they are going to keep you out of heaven. That is heaven, to be able to choose the course of your life consciously. In the second dream body, you are able to travel to the far reaches of this universe and all possibility and probability. You're able to gather information and use that information. It is the next level up. In the third dream body, you are able to go directly to the source. Nothing to it. The first dream body you take off, you become aware in the dream. But have you ever had a dream and you knew you were dreaming and you said, oh, I guess I better wake up now, and you woke up and did something only to discover that you were still dreaming? That is the second dream body. So you woke up in a dream, the second dream body. And you went and did all this stuff. Oh, I guess I better write this down. You write it down. And you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning. It's not there. See, I knew I did that. That is the waking up into the second dream body. And the third dream body involves the inexplainable or unexplainable. Anyway, it can be explained. And it's nothing but a thing. It's not beyond your scope. It is beyond your mind because you have not begun to loosen the boundaries of your mind. You have accepted your beliefs. You have accepted your prejudices, your biases, and you have not worked. So, of course, you are just as rigid as you have ever been. You have not loosened your shoe. Your shoe is hurting your foot. Loosen the damn thing. Just loosen up. Now, I will say to you, there are dangers in the second dream body. Yes, there are dangers.
Is that like on the news says, where went on the train for 100 miles and sleepwalking? Something like that?
Could be, yes. Could be. Could be he didn't go on a train at all. He merely moved from one line of reality to another in his sleep and wound up in a boxcar, which is the logical explanation. He merely woke up in another line of reality, where in another line of reality he never awakened at all. You see, there are connections between all these lines of reality that make it make sense. You see what I'm saying? Yes. You say, well, but if each of us stepped into a different line of reality, how is it that there's continuity today that we're all here in this line of reality? It's simple. The one that went off that way went off that way, and the other one, we simply keep going in the same lines of reality because of our decisions to do so. There are infinite numbers of Kathys running around right now. In your house, sometimes you have the sense that somebody's there. It is only you in a different line of reality living there. You see Haints. Or is somebody else in a different line of reality living there? You see, you are so certain as to what reality is. You are rigid. You are absolutely rigid. It's your business. I want to tell you about the danger. You are full of fear. Remember I talked about demons? They are there. Yes, goodness. You created them. Now, in this travel, you are going to run into them. Now, how are you going to deal with that? You can only face them if you realize what they are. And you can wish them gone, and they will be gone, whether they are yours or somebody else's. And everyone you meet is not necessarily yours. There are some people in this world that think some horrible stuff, boy. But if you understand their nature, they will be gone. But if you carry with you the rigidity and the foolish fear and don't recognize their nature, you're going to have to deal with them. And you know something? Pain at that level of reality is just as valid as it is at this one. I saw a hand. Where was it? Yeah.
Do they come like in a physical form?
Yes, they are. You see, it is like this reality. We are both dreams.
Because I saw something like that one day. I saw this man, but he really looked like a demon. He looked like what I would perceive as death. And he was walking real slow. He actually looked like a goon to me. Okay? And so I was walking down the street and I looked and he kept coming towards me and I sort of hesitated because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, you know. And so I walked and he walked by me and I walked by him and I sort of looked and I kept on going. But, you know, I really had to center myself to keep myself from actually running away from it. So I was wondering, is that somewhat...
It could very well be.
And he sort of disappeared. When I looked back, he wasn't there.
That is usually an indication of what we've done. You see it, you look away, you look back and they aren't there, and you wonder where they went. You see, at certain points you are just open to seeing cross lines of reality. At certain points. Some of it depends upon the temperature of your body. Some of it depends upon the time of day. Some of it depends upon your focus or non-focus at that time. When you're letting go. Sometimes you're concentrating so hard on something that you let go the boundaries of reality, and all of a sudden you see something, and then and it's not there. You say, where'd they go? Or where'd it go? What happened is you thought about it, which brought the barriers back up, and you looked around, it wasn't there. This is why I'm saying to you, you can't get involved in certain ways with others, because many times you do not know what level of reality and what possibility you are dealing with. You know? But all of these possibilities, all of these things feed information to each other. It is a cooperation, so it makes it seem like it's a straight line. Yesterday you had a thought and you actually created another possibility of you. It just came about in some level of reality. And you say, well, does it have a past? Yes, it has your past. You created it with your past. It has the memory that you consider you, as you have the memory that you consider your past, but you literally got from another probability of yourself. You are nothing but the figment of imagination in the mind of another probable self. And you think you hot shit. You are a figment of imagination. This sounds very strange to you, but it is not. It is the truth. Again, if you haven't done your work, you betcha it sounds strange. So you got to do your work. You want to know what truth is? You know, the psychologist and the psychiatrist keeps dealing with this superficial crap when the information that you receive and the information you pair to not all the time is your experience. But it is information fed to you by this whole collective thing. Each thing having its own experience and each one being able to receive the information and thinking that it is a straight line of reality when it is not. It is all these various probabilities of yourself having experience and exchanging information like you exchange baseball cards. Yes, you have had the experience, and no, you have not had the experience. And particularly when we start getting into this level of things, you will see many things. Again, I want to impress upon you, those malformed thoughts are there. Now, you must understand what they are. And if you understand what they are, you have no problem with them at all. But if you do not, if you accept them through some bullshit, you're going to have to deal with them through that bullshit. If you are a hook 'em up, let's go kind of guy, then you're going to have to hook 'em up and let's go. I don't know how to work out, but you'll find out. I am letting you know that there is a danger, but that danger is only in your own mind. And it is a price you must pay for your own creation. I warned you before. I told you before. But you've continued to go ahead with your own bullshit, with your own fears, doubts. Yes, Wayne?
Okay, what happens if you go with it in that other dream state? If you lose, you kill this and what happens to you here?
One line of you keeps going. One line of you never shows up again. You enter into another reality, another dream state, and that one goes on from there. See, there's no end to it. All I'm saying to you is just possibilities, and these possibilities have already happened to some aspect of yourself.
So when I come back here on
This line, another line. See, it's impossible to tell because it depends upon the decision that you make as an individual at that moment, which line that you enter. It has happened. There have been great chase scenes at that level of reality. There have been great confrontations at that level of reality. Not to worry about it. Just understand, do your work so that you understand the nature of reality and that the nature of reality is mental. And there's nothing to worry about. There is nothing to worry about. Today, yes.
When I had a second dream, awakening a second dream body experience once, and I realized that this was my creation. This old, mean lady, was my creation. I instantly in the dream felt compassion and told her, "Peace be with you." And the confrontation, the whole air of confrontation was gone.
Yes.
Now, in actuality, it didn't. You said everything goes on forever and forever and forever. So in actuality, she didn't disappear. She just no longer hunted her creator.
That's true.
Okay.
You see, these things get created without love. They're kind of pissed at you.
Right.
And I don't blame them. The idea of when you recognized and had compassion, well, it had what it wanted anyway. As I said to you, in the dream of the great God, upon the creation of the dream, it loved its creation instantaneously, and thereby the introduction of love into the universe. But we are so full of anger, fear, doubt. We have created great universes that are in need of love. They are your responsibility. And the chickens do come home to roost, either now or later, but they do come home.
If we go from reality to reality to reality, then we don't die.
Never die. One line of reality will end, but another one picks up right there. So it's just a movement from one line of reality to another. There is no such thing as death. The only problem with it is that when you move from a line of reality into another one, if you have not completed your task, then you move right back into that sphere of reality to run it again. So we don't die, but you got to get it right. Each aspect of you has to get it right, because each aspect has its own line of consciousness and seeks knowledge forever. So it depends upon whether you got it right or not. You don't die, but you got to come back and do it again.
What if you do it right?
Then you move on.
Out of those lines of other lines of reality?
Yes, and to another. See, the lines of reality are, say, encased within a sphere or in the cube. See, those are infinite lines of reality within that cube. But if you got this cube correct, you've got the lessons of this cube, you move into the next cube with its infinite possible realities, because you're now in a different vibrational frequency. You're at a different point now where the laws are different to begin learning and expressing them. This is the benefit of what we're talking about these three bodies. They enable you to learn the laws prior to death in this line, so that death is not such a shock. Death can be quite a shock. Well, I mean that more than one way. Yeah. You see, death can be a shock at this side. If it's a shock at this side, when you realize what has happened, it's going to be one hell of a shock there, because you're still conscious. And it sometimes takes much time because you're confused. It takes much time to understand. I have been trying to help my mother. My mother is dying. And I've been trying to help her with her own transition, because it can be a hell of a shock. You think you've been confused here for 40 years, you can wind up being confused for 150 million years until you understand what is happening. So this movement, or these aspects of ourselves, gives flexibility and an understanding of certain laws so that we are not confused. That is true. You have flashes, insights, yeah. And it is to your advantage to take advantage. And that is what we're doing here. We're trying to teach you how to take advantage. We're trying to show you how to take advantage of that, so you don't have to keep doing this. I mean, this is first grade. My God, how long you want to stay in first grade? Jesus. Not all of it, but if they have enough time, they can work through enough of it so that they're not really confused. This is why a lot of times with people who are really sick, they seem confused, and they are, because they're having experiences that are absolutely foreign to what they've believed all their lives. And it depends upon the amount of time that they have to work it out. Sudden death is a real mother. Sudden death is a real confusion, because suddenly you're here and none of the things work the same in you. It's a great impact. The laws are different. You were suddenly doing one thing, and all of a sudden here you are somewhere else, and you realize that they even have mental hospitals. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It is there. People who are there know that it's only an illusion. It's only the confusion within you, but you don't know that. So you hang out here until you... So you see, you can't escape mental illness. Even in heaven, they got mental hospitals. It seems like a joke, but I am telling you the truth. You see, you're not so different now than you will ever be. It is just the belief systems that are different. You are you. You are you. When you dream, you drop much of the ego, but are you not you having the experience? You are different, but you are the same. And it is the same thing. It is the same thing. So your degrees will come out good. You can be one of the doctors at the Mental Institute in heaven. I work for Heaven Mental Research. I am saying to you, you see, you think if you go to the psychiatrist here that you're going to get straight. But you're only dealing with one aspect in the infinite amount of information that you receive. So it's not going to do it. Something else does it. You see, this world is not what you think it is. You know, like I said, sometimes you think you see somebody doing something, you're real sure. Well, see, I've said before, you are sure about what you see. I'm not so sure. Because each experience you have, you create. And with each creation, you create the possibilities. So its creation is something that you can't get out of. You can never get out of it, because with each thing, with each perception comes another possibility. Another set of infinite possibilities.
It's for the illusion of change and progress.
Right. So I'm saying that this is the nature of life, so you may as well get on with it. You can't get out of it. There is no way that you're going to escape. There is, was it Jean-Paul Sartre's no exit? There is no exit, because every door that opens leads somewhere. And that somewhere is in here. You know, so infinitely. So we may as well get about the business of stopping being petty and take the responsibility for ourselves as creators and do it. You have no choice. It is not a choice. I mean, it is a choice, but it's not a choice. Does this make sense? I have intended today, by giving you much more information, I have intended to help dissolve or shake what you believe, because it has become increasingly obvious that you will not do that on your own. I'm going to shake you. If you go mad, that's the way it goes. That's up to you. That is up to you. You see, it's not so different. Got nut houses everywhere. Okay. Start your dream books. Start them today. And don't ever stop them. I say don't ever stop them because we have certain tendencies. When I say do something, we'll do it until we think
Yeah.
you're not qualified to stop. Just a simple statement of fact. You're not qualified to say when to stop. Well, so I say that because when I say you got your dream book, have you been working on? Well, see, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Well, see, I have so many things I have to do. I've said before, this is your life, and there's not a damn thing on earth any more important than your life. Well, see, I was tired. I don't give a shit. That's just an excuse. It is just an excuse. And if you pretend you don't know it, I am not going to pretend I don't know it. I'm not going to pretend I don't know it. When you say something like that to me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to immediately hurt your feelings. Immediately hurt your feelings. Immediately. Why? Because you bullshitting. And I know better. I know that you are greater than you pretend to be. I will immediately hurt your feelings. I'm going to do it until you decide to grow up. How about that? You don't like it? Tough. There's always another line of reality. Move. But you know what? There's not a line of reality that I don't exist in. Can't get away. When you get to the nut house, I'll be waiting on you. I'll be the biggest nut there. I'll be waiting on you. You can't get away. Yes. Now, where were we? So let's stop bullshitting and let's get on with the case. All right.